Good morning, everyone. Akasa Living. How are you all doing today? Want to remind you that tonight is our guided meditations at 7 p.m. It's live and intuitive, and you can participate as much or as little as you want. Stay around afterwards if you would like and talk about it. And I do some channeling and some card reading if you want to, or you can just go on off and go to sleep if you'd like. It's completely free. There's nothing to sign up for. You just click on the little Zoom link and join us, and that's it. So we hope to have you there. Tonight's going to be different because I want to focus tonight on not all the things we need to heal and release and progress from like we normally do with new moon and full moon and all of those kinds of things. Yes, I do it guided and intuitive based upon the energy there, but I start getting hits on what we're going to need before the meditation. And that's how energy works, is we get intuitive hits beforehand. And the intuitive hits I've been getting are that what's needed by the people who usually show up and by those who are going to show up is we need to be living in the moment and being sure that we're putting out what it is we want. You see, if we are always caught up in the mode of, I've got something to heal and progress from, if we're always caught up in the mode of, I've got work to do on me, well, then we're not putting out the energy, I'm ready for what it is that I want to be. If we're always in, I've got to heal mode, then we're not in, I'm ready to receive mode. If you're always working on fixing yourself, then you're putting out the energy, I'm not ready yet. Yes, you are ready. You're ready. So that's the energy we're going to work on putting out tonight. I'm ready. How do I want to feel? How do I want to be treated? Okay, I'm going to treat myself that way. And okay, so what's that feel like? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? What do I want to experience? And then I'm going to put that energy out. All my energy I've called back to myself. That's what I'm going to put out. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is how to stay in that frequency, because we can meditate, we can do our breath work, we can get ourselves in that frequency and be in it in the morning or whatever time of day you do that. But then if that's the only time of day we're in that frequency, the rest of the day, we're putting out fragmented energy, which then detracts from the energy that we've already put out saying what we want. We send out confusing energy, chaotic energy. So you do your work in the morning and you put out, yeah, this is me. This is my frequency. This is what I want. And then you go to work and you start talking about all the healing work you've had to do. Well, the energy you start putting out then is you're back in healing work mode. You start feeling the energies and the frequencies of what you're talking about. You don't have it to do again. You've already done it. But you start talking about it so that feeling starts coming back up in us. Those emotions start coming back. And that's the frequency we end up in. And so that's the frequency we're putting out. And so the universe is like, well, it's not the universe is like up there making a, oh yeah, well, she changed her mind. So it's not like that. It's the frequency that the universe feels, universe meaning the energy, the universal law of energy feels has shifted. And so universal law, the math and science of it, shifts what you get. You were up here, now you're down here. If you stayed up there, you would have gotten what you were feeling and experiencing, but you didn't. You came down here. You'll be really up in the morning and you'll be like, I know it's going to happen today. And then you'll think about throughout the course of the day, all the reasons why it hasn't happened. You'll stop and you'll talk with a friend. And maybe you'll still be up. Maybe it's not you. Maybe the friend will start listing, well, yeah, don't get your hopes up too terribly much because, you've been hoping for this for a while now. Or, you've been saying that for da-da-da-da-da. Or, well, you know how that person is, or you know how that really goes, or you know how these things go. And then that energy comes in. You have opened up your energy field by having the conversation. The pink light wasn't going to help you because you just opened up your energy field by having the conversation. And that will lower your frequency. And it was coming. It was up there where you were, but you just came down here. And so you didn't get it. You changed your frequency by opening up your energetic field and having these conversations, or thinking it to yourself, or whatever. Reading something that brings your vibration down, watching something that brings it down, that causes you to doubt, that causes you to get in a different frequency. So that's what we're going to work on in the meditation tonight is, no, I don't need to heal anymore. I've done that. That doesn't mean you will never have anything else to heal and release. We're always going to have that, but we're not going to think that way. We'll identify those when we need to identify them, but we don't need to be in identifying to heal and progress every second. We're not broken people. Once we've done it, we've done it. I've done the work. I've done the work. What do I want? I'm ready for it. And I'm going to stay in that frequency. And I'm going to bring it in. And no, I'm not going to have conversations with people that pull me out of frequency. I'm not going to open up my energetic field and get pulled out of frequency. I'm not going to do that to myself. You see, it's not the people having the conversation necessarily that's doing it. Yes, we open up our energetic field when we have the conversation with them and they say whatever they're saying, but they wouldn't lower our frequency if what they were saying didn't trigger us in some way. We set ourselves back up to go right back through the energetic loop that we just healed ourselves up or progressed from. We lower our frequency and go right back through the muckety muck that we just brought ourselves out of. And we wonder why we don't have what we want. Why do we do that? Because no matter how much we've healed, there's some part of us that still feels that is more comfortable. We will slip into a comfort zone without even realizing it. It's not what we want. It's not where we want to be. We've healed. We've progressed from that. We want the other. But every part of us is more familiar with that. And as you get on with your day and as you get preoccupied with other stuff, everything about our subconscious will slip back into, well, we're dealing with other stuff, so let's slip back into what we already know. Because we're dealing with all this. You can't stay present on everything that you're doing, is what I'm saying. You want to be in the present on what you're wanting to bring into your life. But you can't stay on that every second because you've got stuff to do. So you've gone and you had a conversation about something. They've triggered you. And your subconscious starts ruminating on it. You have to go back to work and you're focusing on your work. So you've not pulled yourself back in frequency. You're not holding yourself in frequency by staying consciously aware of this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to feel. This is what I'm going to be. You're not consciously putting out that energy. And the subconscious is like, yeah, we got triggered by that. Yeah, this is more comfortable. That's probably not going to happen. Remember everything they just said. All that's playing in the background. You have been triggered by that. And no, it's not their fault. You opened yourself up to that energy and you're triggered by it because of what's within you. You opened yourself up to it by having the conversation. And you're triggered by it because of what's within you. No one else did it to you. You opened yourself up for it. These are the things we have to learn that we do to ourselves. We have these casual conversations all the time that we think don't matter. They do. They get into our subconscious. We get triggered and we don't even realize it. And instead of being sovereign over ourselves and not doing it, when we recognize it even, we come back to, well, the reason it happened is they brought it up. No, the reason it happened is one, you went and had the conversation. And two, you have that trigger within you to begin with. What they said would not affect your manifesting now if the trigger did not exist within you. They could have talked about it all day long if you did not have the trigger within you. It's not about what they did. It's about you. And yes, we can heal those triggers, but we go back to what we know and what we're comfortable with. And when we open our energetic field up to listening to stuff like that, our subconscious defaults to that. And we subconsciously start putting out the energy that works against what we were mindful and present just a few hours before to work for. We do this to ourselves. And then at the end of the day, we're like, you know, this morning I was so sure that was going to happen, but it didn't. You know, kind of in the middle of the day, I started feeling like it probably wasn't going to. I don't know where that came from. That's because your energy was coming down. Your frequency on that was coming down because your subconscious was ruminating on what you allowed into your energetic field and allowed to get triggered in you. These are the things we do to ourselves, folks. Pot calling kettle black here. I do it too. This is what we have to learn to understand about how energy works. This is why we have to know we're energetic beings and why we have to take sovereignty over ourselves and realize how we self-sabotage. We can do meditations and we can do all the manifesting we want. But if we don't understand these principles, it's all moot. We are not going to accomplish what it is we want to do if we don't understand these principles. We're going to meditate with one another and we're going to line up and then we're going to go to the water cooler and have a conversation and undo it all and not have a freaking clue why. This is why. When someone says something like this, or when you pick up the newspaper that talks about all the doom and gloom, or when you scroll through the social media that has all the crap in it, or whatever it is you do that lowers your vibrational frequency, it automatically resets the subconscious, which starts, yeah, all that stuff that we were all up in the air about, all in high vibration about earlier. Yeah. And the frequency for all that starts dropping because you've been triggered that the world isn't what you want it to be. And you can't have it that way because look at all the stuff that you've let into your energetic field that has shown you all day long that you really, no, the world's not all that stuff that you believed this morning. And so all that energy you put out for it, you've just, well, maybe I'll get a little less, I'll get a little less. And by the end of the day, you've got the same old day you had when you started. We do it to ourselves. Nothing changes until we change. Nothing changes until we change. If you want to be happy, stop doing the things you're doing. What do you want more of in your life? You want more love? Do something different. If we want love, we have to give love. You want more joy? Do something different. You want joy? Be joyful and put joy out. Be happy with people. What do you want? Then don't open up your energetic field and get triggered by something that causes your subconscious to take over and say, not really, not really, not really, not really. And then don't blame everything else for it not happening. Sovereignty of self. sovereignty of self. No, it's not because everyone else hasn't gotten in the place that they need to be yet. It's not because we don't have this duck in a row yet, or that duck in a row yet, or that duck in a row yet. I did a video, I think last year, of getting all your ducks in a row. You cannot wait until all the ducks are in a row to say, this is what I want to feel, be, and experience, or you're never going to get there, because you don't control the ducks. All you control is you. So if you want a life of love, you're going to have to step up and claim it now. Waiting for the ducks to get in a row, they're never going to be there. You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to have enough time. You're never going to have everyone else happy enough. You want joy in your life? You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to have enough time. Work is never going to be just right. You're never going to have everyone satisfied enough for you to be in joy. You want enough money? You're never going to have the boss happy enough, the wife happy enough, the kids happy enough, and the family happy enough. And no. Only you. Only you. So you have to close your energetic field to all the stuff that's coming in and pulling you out of frequency. And you have to decide, laser focused, no, this is what I want. So I'm not going around the things that pull me out of frequency. I'm not opening up my energetic bandwidth to the things that pull me out of frequency. I'm not watching that Lifetime movie and watching that woman cry and see her world fall freaking apart, and then wondering why my world's falling apart. I know why it's falling apart. I'm watching Lifetime movies every week about everybody's life who's falling apart. And in my heart of hearts, I'm starting to believe, yeah, that's what the world is. Everybody's world falls apart. And that's the energy you're putting out. And so then before you know it, your world is falling apart. Yeah. We manifest what we feel because we become what we feel. Because what we feel is what we think about and what we act upon. It's the energy we put out. And what we put out is what we get back. It may not be that you lose your spouse. That may not be the way it expresses itself. But other areas of your life will have loss or sadness or lower vibrational energy, because you have just poured a ton of lower vibrational energy into your life. That's why I'm all about anything that we watch, read, all entertainment needs to have people who are against happy endings. No, we need to have happy endings. If we're going to pour a ton of sad, heavy emotion into us, we need to finish it with a happy ending, because life was meant to be joyful. Those who are teaching that we came here for hard luck university, no, we did not. That is below the energetic bandwidth of unconditional love, and we were not created in that. The universe is not below that. That is dense energy. We were not meant to fall below the frequency of unconditional love. That is dense energy. It is chaotic energy. And we're not meant to be in that. So every time we create more things that have that, we are creating non-resonant, non-harmonious energy and adding to our own chaos. So that's what we're going to do meditation on tonight, is not how to fix ourselves, not how to not do that, but we are going to focus on, with that knowledge, we are going to focus on, what is it I want? And we are going to ground that in, and we are going to make the declaration to ourselves, I'm going to stay sovereign, and I'm going to stay in this frequency. We're responsible for that. The only way we get what we want in our lives is to stop looking at all the reasons why we can't have it. Because every time we look at a reason why we can't have it, we just keep propagating that reason. We create more of it. Every time you look at the reason why you can't have something, you've just put out more energy to make more of that reason. You just extended the life on that reason. You just gave it more energy. So stop. That's what and pot calling kettle black here. We need to stop that. Don't put your energy into the why it can't. Don't give it lip service. Don't give it energetic bandwidth in your mind. Don't give it thought. Don't let it be your entertainment. Don't let it be any of that. Make all of those things about why it can be and why it is and why it's going to be and why I'm ready for it and why it's coming right now. Make your life all about what your life is, what you want to be, feel, and experience, not all the reasons why it can't be, but why it is. That's why having your own daily affirmation, I am being, I am feeling, I am experiencing. That's why naming it and claiming it is not imposter. It's not being an imposter. It is declaring, it is putting the energy out so you get it back. It is taking sovereignty over self and saying, this is energy I'm putting out and I will get it back. I'm not going to talk about the energy I've been in and create more of that. I'm going to name and claim the energy I want. So I'm going to put it out because when I feel it, I create it. So you damn straight I'm going to claim it. And no, I'm not an imposter. I'm a creator. I'm an energetic being. And what I feel is what I put out, and it's what comes back. So I'm not going to feel all the stuff that I don't want anymore. I'm not going to put any more energetic bandwidth into that. My focus is on how do I want to be treated? How do I want to feel? What do I want to be? What do I want to experience? And that's what I'm going to put out. So that's tonight's meditation, folks. I know it sounds like what I always do. Well, that's because energy is always going to work the same way. It's never going to change. Whether you're dealing with your health, your twin flame, your finances, your weight, it doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Everything is energy. The principle is always the same. The point is, you have to take whatever your situation is, and you have to look at it from that standpoint. You have to take sovereignty of self from that standpoint. That is the point. Whatever the angle is, whatever your situation is, you have to stop looking at the situation and saying, but because of this, no, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all energy, and you handle it the exact same way. But no. But no. But I have to wait. No. Every time you say but, you're feeding more energy into extending how long until you can. Pot calling kettle black. I've done it myself. I know. No buts. I am. I'm going to be at meditation tonight at 7 o'clock. Live guided intuitive. Zoom link. It's all free. You don't have to sign up. Hope to see you all there. Bye.